right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into episode number 60 right here, right now on Clark After Dark, live and direct on RaceON.com. After a 1 week hiatus without my co-host of this podcast week in and week out, Cortland Smith's going to rejoin me tonight here on the pod as Tam Nugent is slamming it right now and he's bringing us in. Folks, we're feeling good about it. Come on. Welcome into episode number 60 of Clark After Dark. Folks, racing season is just about wrapping up here in the South. We have a few remaining events here in the Ark-La-Tex, including this weekend at the Rocket Raceway Park, including Fan Fest, carnival games, face painting, prizes, free family photos, hay rides, and so much more from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. with the racing slated to kick off at 3:30. Fresh off a great weekend for myself at the Texas Motor Speedway Dirt Track, we also had other events take place in the great state of Texas this weekend, including the Texas Grand, the 30th running Texas Grand at the 105 Speedway in Cleveland. And we had our Simmons Bank 67 Series finale at Texarkana 67. New black dirt on Ark-La-Tex. Huh? XR event promoter Barry Braun has been arrested. Didn't know I was going to hit that, but we did because that's a topic of discussion here today. Boot Hill is back in action November the 29th. Don't put your cars up for the winter just yet, folks. As we are ready to rock and roll here, episode number 60 of Clark After Dark. It's about that time to bring in my co-host of this podcast here for not the second week in a row. He was on the sidelines last week, folks. He's happy to be back. Look at his smile. He is thrilled to be here. Cortland, first and foremost, bud, I know you weren't feeling good last week and you were under the weather, but looks like you're feeling rather chipper today, buddy. How you feeling?
Feeling wonderful. A whole lot better than I was last Tuesday night. I can tell you that much, man. I don't really, I'm knock on wood, man. I'm knocking on the desk right now, dude. I'm the only one that's pretty healthy. I don't get too much. And even if I do, man, it doesn't put me out and down for the count. But man, I was in a bind last Tuesday. And even the kids in class told me, they're like, Coach Smith, are you okay? And I'm like, no, I am not. Like, let's just take these couple slides. You're going to do your classwork and it's going to be a really quiet day in here. Like, let's go get along, go along type deal. But so and we had a game Thursday night last week, and I knew, like, unless I got some rest last Tuesday, I wouldn't be able to do my job the rest of the week, essentially, or get the boys rallied up on Thursday night. We picked up the dub Thursday night against a good Port Barry team, and so we're playoff bound, got a home playoff game this weekend. We had to win to solidify that home playoff spot, so we got it. So we're all good, man. I've slowly been on getting better and better, and I finally, today was about the first day I woke up, and I was like, all right, like, I'm 100%, I'm ready to go, and I hate I missed it. I had my two solid fans, my mama and somebody else, message me and check on me after I didn't make the podcast. So other than that, we're doing good, man. We're having a wonderful time. Glad to be back. Glad you didn't find somebody to replace me, because I know I'm just a pit reporter. And I know I could be easily replaced. So glad I didn't get replaced, friend. We're here.
I don't know why. Yeah, I'm not really sure why your title down here says co-host, because you were just a pit reporter. I'm not really sure what's going on here. Cody was supposed to fix that for us, but anyway, no, man. Hey, I'm really happy that you're back, man. I love having you here, and yeah, we tried to roll it solo. So it's funny. Earlier this year, I can't remember why I missed that podcast now, but I was gone. Oh, it was my computer crashed on me. But anyway, you elected to do it solo dolo that night. I'm pretty sure you had the better solo episode than I did. Not comparing them, but I'm just being real with you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we value each other, so we're just gonna have it. It takes two to tango around here at Clark After Dark. And there you go, just the pit reporter right there, live on your screen. There he is, right there. Cortland Smith, just a pit reporter. Hey, man, good racing. We had several different racetracks to choose from, and obviously several different things we can talk about here. But before we get too deep into that, we made this kind of a tradition here the last couple of weeks. Number 60 now. This is episode number 60. So next week we'll talk about 61. And sadly, we'll talk about this. Literally just popped in my head when I thought of 61. I thought about Bubba Abels. I don't know if you were aware of that, but he drives the number 61 modified. And honestly, man, this just popped up, so it's on my heart. So I'm going to talk about it real quick. Bubba Abels, you guys aren't familiar with him. He's an Oklahoma driver, races the open wheel modifieds. Man, Bo is one of the nicest guys, man. I've interacted with him, a little bit, over the last couple of years, and just a super, super nice guy, man. Cortland, 40 years old, man. 40 years old, dude. I just turned 37 the other day, man. It really puts things into perspective. This gentleman went back in June. I don't have all the particular details. I was talking with Chase Lawler about it yesterday, but man, he's been fighting for his life over the last 6 months, man, or for the last 5 months. He's been in the hospital, went in for like a basic routine surgery. I mean, a routine procedure. And man, from complications from that, man, he's been fighting for his life. He's been in the ICU, and unfortunately, man, Bubba Abels lost his life yesterday. And while that's on my heart here, I would have mentioned that, I'm sure, at some point, but episode 61 is next week, and we're about to talk about cars of number 60. But right here, right now, man, I want to send love and just man, please, anybody that listens to this podcast, send love and your prayers out to that family, man, because it's just a tough loss. 40 years old, man. It's just it makes you realize and put it in perspective now that man, time goes by so fast. Like I can tell you, man, this last 10 years went by like a blur. And man, that man's only 3 years older than I am. Man, it makes you put it in perspective. Like, man, make sure you're living right, folks, and you're right with the Lord. I mean, I'm not going to get too deep in all that kind of thing, but man, just make sure you love your people, man. Make sure you let them know that you love them, man. Rest in peace to Bubba Abels. We'll miss him around the dirt tracks. That there's no doubt. So, speaking of number 60s, those so that's the sad part. We'll get that out of the way on the podcast here tonight. But man, please send love to Bubba Abels and his family. But the number 60s though, it's episode number 60. So number 60 is Dan Ebert. I thought about, of course, been racing full time with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, former USMTS driver, of course. And man, I got Mark the Kid Martin. Remember, he dominated in the Busch Series back in the day in the Winn-Dixie number 60 car. Like he was Kyle Busch in the Busch Series before Kyle Busch was Kyle Busch. Okay, Mark Martin used to dominate when I was a kid. Hey, he was good in the Viagra 6 and the Kellogg's 5.2 when he drove for Hendrick. Mark Martin was just a bad dude. Hey, great podcast, by the way, on Kenny Conversation with Kenny Wallace this week, talking about the NASCAR format. You guys go check that out. So shameless plug to Mark Martin and Kenny Wallace right there. But those are my couple of 60s, man. I know you got to have a 60s tucked in somewhere. Who you got?
I got one tucked in. I actually got to come see him compete this past weekend at TMS, man. Old Kip Hughes, number 60, my man out of Enid, Oklahoma. Really cool dude, man. I've gotten to meet him a couple times when we've been racing up there in that area, and really cool dude. I think he's got like 4 or 5 wins on the year, running that revival tour and stuff. But one of the stalwarts up there in Oklahoma, when you roll in and kind of that more or less the hard tire country, wherever that revival series, they kind of run kind of a harder tire rules sit type deal, try to save some guys some money on tires, which sometimes the wrong track conditions, the harder tire is not going to hold up very well. But long story short, my man Kip Hughes, when I thought of 60, you took my man Dan Ebert. Dan Ebert's come stormed the dirt late model world, essentially no experience, and jumped out on a national tour and grabbed life by the horns. And you got to see him progress throughout the year. And really, I think you're going to see him. I don't think there's going to be no sophomore slump for Dan Ebert going on the late model tour this next year. But you stole Dan Ebert. I got to go my boy Kip Hughes in there out of Enid, Oklahoma. I've actually borrowed a tire from him at Batesville one night. The tire guy come up one tire short, and we did some trading and swapping. I had plenty of others, but we did some swapping for some tires one night. So my man Kip Hughes going to get the shout out.
That's not actually who I thought you were going to go with. As a matter of fact, when you said Oklahoma and you said a driver you saw race this past weekend, I was like, oh, he got Willie G on me. How about William Gould? Dude, if either one of us didn't say the 60, somebody needs to fire us. Like, it's not fair that we would come here and not mention William Gould. So here we are. We're going to talk about Willie G out of Calera, Oklahoma, driver of the Gould chassis, number 60. It was kind of a surprise entry at TMS this weekend. I love to see him. I don't think he was there Friday. Showed up and showed out on Saturday night. He's more of an IMCA type stalwart, right? But I mean, he's still good when he throws the spoiler onto the open motor. I'd love to see Willie G run a little bit more of the open competition stuff in the mods. But hey, those are some really good number 60s, man. William Gould, Mark Martin, Dan Ebert, Kip Hughes. I mean, you know what? Maybe there are some faster number 60s than we thought of in the game. You know what I mean?
When you think of the number 60, it's not a common one off the top of your head, really in racing. But there's some dudes that wheel some 60s. Don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on it.
That's right, man. So a couple of races, like I said, 105 this past weekend with the 30th annual Texas Grand, of course, TMS Dirt Track. It was headlined by the Honest Abe Roofing Power I 410 Outlaw Sprint League. That's a mouthful there. And also Texarkana 67 series had their final Simmons Bank 67 series race. So we'll talk about what happened right here in the Ark-La-Tex, though. I was at TMS. We'll get to that in a second. Of course, we'll talk about 105. But man, I didn't get a chance to really watch a lot of the racing at Texarkana, but I was keeping up with it this past weekend. But man, everybody had to have seen the clip that was out on RaceOn's Facebook page. Man, what a race, back and forth battle with your Simmons Bank 67 Series Modified Points champion this year, the F27 of Lindsey Province, and the eventual winner, the 5 of Drake Findlay. Man, they were back and forth, just absolutely going at it, laying on each other a little bit. Like sheet metal was ruffled just a little bit. I think they had a little bit of a post-race conversation after the race was over. But dude, it was exciting. Drake Findlay gets the win, and dude, he really, really needed that win. He's had a lot of bad luck here the last couple of months. Findlay's a really good race car driver. Province is too. And you know that Province's mindset was, okay, I've won the track championship, but what if I just win the race on the final, win the final race of the year and win the championship? Like he could go out in style. He came up one spot short, but dude, what a hell of a race between those two wheelmen.
Yeah, 9 to go. Drake Finley's in third. Dustin Tater Hyde sitting there in second, and we got a three-way battle for the lead. Dude, 67. Man, we pump it up a lot on here, but man, when you watch the product that's given, I swear, week in and week out, Tim Crawley, he's going to have it around the cushion at some point in time during the night. But man, I swear that track's almost different every time you go there. It's never like the exact same thing. You know, it's very similar, and no tracks are ever going to be exactly the same. But man, that it's just different the way you got to run the lines and whatnot. But man, with 9 to go, Finley's in third, and he gets up there and just rallies it up. Man, he gets the band singing a tune up there, and throws some sliders back and forth with Province. Province was kind of running a slider line, and I don't really know if he realized that he had kind of cut Finley off a couple times in a row. And when Jake saw his opportunity to pounce, he did. And then they started going back and forth with a slider war. And man, really, really good race. You can't ask for much better. And shout out to the modifieds, dude. Are modifieds back at 67? Because we had 20 cars roll into that joint, like 20. And like your top five: Drake Finley, Lindsey Province, Dustin Hyde, Chris Lewis, Jake Huckabee rallies from like 18th past 13 cars to get to fifth. Like 20 modifieds at 67 Speedway, count your boy in. Like, I mean, mods are back. Drake Finley, Lindsey Province throwing elbows. They shook hands after the race, so I think everything's good. Some may not have been necessarily happy about one or the other, but dude, like, absolute great show. I'm glad Finley won. You kind of mentioned already, dude. That dude travels a lot. He races a lot. He will go, and he's got his lumps and bumps this year. And really good kid, seems like, really good program. And I'm glad for him to pick up the win, because he's won. I mean, I think he was all the way down in Waco. There's no telling where that five car is going to roll in at. So for him to pick up a win, I know I've said it plenty of times, not that you're not owed anything in life and racing, but it's nice to pick up a win for the dudes that really do put the dog work in. And he got the job done with a phenomenal race there in the modifieds.
Yeah, absolutely, man. He certainly earned it. Again, congratulations to Lindsey Province. Looking forward to the 67 banquet that will happen. I got to get the dates on that. Hell, I don't know. Tim, we were on the phone last week, and he's like, "You'll be at the banquet, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, I'll be at the banquet." I'm not gonna. I hated to miss the last race, right? Like I messaged Laura Saturday. I was like, "Man, I'm so torn, guys. I hate to not be there, but they understand, man, and they're always so nice and work with me." And Rollo and Bubba have always been really good about that too. Like they understand, if there's something out there that they see that I'd like to do. I mean, they've always been really willing to work with me on that. So I'm very appreciative for that, man, because it's able to shape my schedule, and I get to do the things that I really want to do. Though I have that FOMO, I get the fear of missing out. I hate missing out 67, but I made the majority of them. So and fortunately for RaceOn, we can go back and check it out. Though I haven't had a chance to watch all of them in the entirety. So because hey, let's be real, Cortland, I don't think anybody's going back to watch a 5-hour broadcast in its entirety. It's just not happening for me. It's not. I'm not doing it. But anyway,
I'm gonna tell most anybody I'm skipping the heat races. We're going straight to the feature, and
yeah.
I'm going about 10 laps to go. I just gonna go ahead and put that out there for you.
A lot of people might miss back in the day, Race on Texas on demand. Like, dude, we used to have to do a whole lot more
Yeah.
work. Like Austin Wilkins used to have his ass up till 4 o'clock in the morning cutting cautions out. We used to
Hey,
cut all
Doug.
the cautions, and he used to be straight racing. I'll be honest, I kind of miss that. But man, that just
Yeah.
adds a whole nother workload on somebody, man. It's a lot of editing to do. I don't think people realize like it's pretty difficult if you after a while, it just becomes like second nature when you're editing video, but it's not like just a simple, easy task. Now with AI, you might be able to just to click a button and I can figure it out for you. Hell, I don't know. But anyway, another one of the storylines coming out of there this weekend, man. I think that this is official. Of course, I saw it on Gabby Tupper's Facebook. Cody Tupper sent me a personal message that after the races, he's like, dude, I hate you missed 67 tonight because we put on a show. When the driver himself sends me that message, like I know it had to have been something special. So I was like, hell yeah, man, that's bad. He said, we won the championship by 1 point. That's so cool. That's pretty cool. He made a bold move, a last lap pass to get around Connor or Colby Williams.
Colby.
He threw,
Colby, yeah.
yeah, to get the second. Uh, Cody Tupper wins the Simmons Bank 67 Series Track Championship at Texarkana by 1 point with that pass he made on the last lap. Chase Lawler sent me, he was there as a fan this past weekend. Valerie sent me, they're like, Cody Tupper, like with exclamation points. I'm like, what happened to Cody Tupper? They're like, Cody Tupper just threw his nuts over his shoulder and won the championship. I mean, I wasn't there, but I've heard, man, it had to have been pretty cool. Cody Tupper, I think that's just icing on the cake. Dude, this man has won 3 track championships in one season. Rocket Raceway Park, Boot Hill Speedway, Texarkana. That dude is the pure epitome of what a dirt track racer is and should be. And man, he represents us really, really well. Cody Tupper, great human being on and off the racetrack, along with his whole family. I love everything about them and how they operate that whole 23 program. Congratulations to Cody Tupper for getting it done this past Saturday night.
Yeah, so I actually went back and watched that feature just because I had seen the Facebook post and everything. And dude, him and Colby were throwing in there. They were going in there and throwing some sliders themselves, man. They went in there and rubbed and leaned on each other. And I think there was a little, not necessarily an altercation, but you can tell some upset feelings possibly. But I think they're all worked out. I think everything's fine. You know, between Tupper and the Williams brothers, I mean, those dudes. If there's a limited mod B mod race, like those dudes are showing
Awesome.
up and racing. And Connor even mentioned in Victory Lane, like, man, we're all buddies. Like, I hope nothing too
Yeah.
bad happened. And Connor wins it, and I think he was the one that Tupper was trying to beat for the championship. So Cody knew that he had to do everything. The C's right there. Cody, Connor, and Colby. Tell me you can't get tongue tied there or confused between the names. Lord have mercy. I about did it
No
myself.
doubt.
Sorry, I saved myself and then still talked about it. Anyway,
Hmm.
but Cody comes in there and dude, he's kind of running the middle there. Connor and Colby were down there around the bottom, and Cody gets a run, gets to the inside of Colby. They kind of run up the track a little bit. He gets a spot. Colby goes back in there, slides up to his door, and they raced it out hard, man. And coming to the white flag, I didn't know that the point situation was at that point, or any race fan if they had known it or not. But to know that the race inside the race, like that's what you love about
Yeah.
racing, right? Like the fact that the points racing, that's something we've talked about, is trying to make it a little bit more prestigious, I guess you could say. And the race within the race is something else that's really cool. And for Cody to know, I know in the back of his head, he knew that if Connor wins, he has to do everything he can to get to second to win the track championship. So really phenomenal race, guys. Go out, go check it on RaceON. I think it was the B mods and then the modifieds are right after that feature. Those are two races that you will not miss. That you're not gonna. I'm telling you right now, if you go back and watch it and say, Cortland Smith, I wasted my time, you're a silly goose and go hop in the pond, my friend, because those two races are definitely worth going back and watching. But don't sleep on it, man. My boy Connor Williams picked up the dub. Cody Tupper did right to finish second, pick up the track championship, but a really good B mod race.
Yeah, man, that's really cool. Cody Scoggins, one of the sportsters, won his first career Sportster race there on Saturday night. That's really cool. Driving car number 35, really, really good dude. A lot of people may not be familiar with him, but he's been friends with the Roy family for many, many years. I've known Cody. Actually used to work. I'm not gonna. I was gonna say used to work with my ex. I don't know why I had to say that, but I did it anyway. But anyway, so I know. So sorry. So he's a really good dude. But anyway, Robert Woodard. Yeah, I hope they're doing well. But anyway, Robert Woodard won the Arkansas factory stocks on Saturday night. Justin Whitehead won the factory stock feature over Neil Kemp there. And Chris Kirsten, man, made a last lap pass of the zero car, the 2024 USRA national champion, Michael McEachern. Chris Kirsten scored his third win of the season there in the Tuners, man. Pretty exciting. And Becky Bolding, who has been the staple there, or the standard in the powder puff division, she won that come Saturday night. And, while we wrap up 67, I just want to give a special congratulations out. The Simmons Bank 67 Series Track Championship winners this year goes to Shane Gibbons for the Arkansas Factory Stocks. Gary Harvin won this year's Factory Stock Track Championship. Cody Tupper, like we just talked about. Lindsey Province, man, he really, really has been fun to watch this year in that F27 car. Chad Callender traveled all the way from Louisiana. Man, you think about how many Louisiana drivers supported Texarkana this year, each and every Friday night. And in this case, on Saturday night, Chad Callender, along with Jarrett Strickland, Michael Turner. There's a lot of Louisiana guys who have traveled over there week in and week out to chase these points. And man, he'll get he's being congratulated right here for it. Chad Callender wins the Sportster Championship, and Justin Kilcrease, very versatile driver, wins the Tuner. So congratulations to all those guys for winning the track championships there at Texarkana. Was there anything else or any notes or anything that you'd like to add on 67?
I do got one thing to add. After the modified feature, we get a word with Tim Crawley, and my man, as excited as could be after the modified feature, in the good old Tim Crawley voice that you can imagine, he says, "That's what this blank is about," and you can insert the word right there, ladies and gentlemen. Tim Crawley was fired up about it because he is one. He doesn't want to watch no train race around the bottom, and he got his slide jobs for the win. And Tim Crawley was fired up about it. So that's my last little nugget that I had off of 67. Was that my boy Tim Crawley put the quote of the night on there for him, and it was it was pretty cool, man.
Another point that you made earlier about the modifieds leading car count again, 20 cars, 20 mods on Friday night.
Yeah.
And while we're seeing a lot of racetracks going away from running mods weekly, and listen, I understand a lot of tracks overheads, and I understand modifieds, the purse is a little bit more expensive. I am certainly not coming on here to tell anybody how they should run their operation or to add mods or to cancel mods. That's not what I'm doing here. All I'm saying is if we look at the car counts this year, I guarantee you Texarkana adds modifieds weekly again next year. You want to know why? Because they have led the car count 7 times this year. Out of 11 events, they've led the car count 7 times. All I see on Facebook is how modifieds are dead and this and that. Well, apparently, if you give them somewhere to race, they're not dead. That's just the point I have. If you give them somewhere to race, a quality place to race, apparently they show up in good numbers. Don't at me, people. I'm just saying, I'm not.
I
The numbers are there. The numbers have been there and
the
consistently all year. They're better than factory stock numbers. Make it make sense. It doesn't to me. I don't. And Cortland, I don't know. Like
yeah,
I can't tell you why that is.
hey, all I know, like whatever, somebody call Tim Crawley, ask him what he's doing with modifieds and try to make it work out wherever you're at. Because I mean, I do believe that there still is a pretty good plethora of modifieds throughout here. And it's just one of them deals that you got to get. I mean, of course, it's all kind of lightning in the bottle and stuff just happens to
Right.
find right. But for 7 out of the
Scheduling
11
too.
nights, scheduling. I know there's a lot of there's so many things that go into the backside of racing and classes, and I see it every single week on Facebook. You need to add this, you need to add this, you need to run these, you don't need to run these, blah, 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 blah. Whatever you want to say. Hey, look, there is no secret sauce in the pudding that makes it just absolutely phenomenal. Nobody has the exact answers. But whatever Tim Crawley's got going on over there, and I think they like mix the modified rules between IMCA and USRA, I believe. I don't know for sure. Don't at me, but I'm pretty sure that's part of the reason why they get so many is they got a good little mixture between tires and spoiler, I believe. I could be all completely wrong on this, so if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But dude, for the 7 out of 11 nights you said you had the stat, I know that they've let it a lot of nights when I go back and make my notes here. But dude, just whatever he's got going on, somebody ask and try to find out. Dude, there ain't no reason we can't have a 67 night with 20 mods and roll them down to Ark-La-Tex or Boot Hill the next night, and all them guys can make a 2-day trip out of it. I think that's just one thing, logistics and everything you got to work out. And I know we talk about enough tracks working together and all this and that, and we can beat that horse all day long, all the way to the California coast if we wanted to. But it's just one of them things. You got to see what he's got going on and see what's working for him. I mean, that's what I would do. I would call him up and go, Tim, what are you doing? Like, how are you making 20 modified show up to 67 and lead your car count over all the other classes that are essentially our leaders?
You know what
Just
that answer
get
is?
together and figure it out. What's the answer?
You know what that
Go
answer?
ahead, tell me.
We don't have the exact answer, but I think some of it is that we're the only place that's racing them. Like,
Yeah.
guys want to race here because there's nowhere else to race mods. So, hey, man, we're going to 67 because they're the track that wants to race us. And I love the fact that guys have went there and supported it this year for that fact. And I want to make this point as well, or give you this stat, and everybody is privy to it. It's right there on my race pass. You know how many modifieds we had at Texas Motor Speedway dirt track this weekend? On top of the 20 that were at Texarkana, we had 68 different modified drivers check into the pits to battle this week. 68 for $2,000 to win. 68. Dude, they're still out there, ladies and gentlemen. The mods are still out there. I honestly, this is not a shot at any. This is not what I'm.
No, it's not.
Like modifieds are dying off because nobody wants to race them. That's what it. Where's Chris Hennigan or Dustin or anybody or Dustin Hyde? Where are these guys going to race? Because we've already went through this a little bit. Gene Border cut the mods, around the middle of the 20 teens. And we get it. Like, I understand all that because we saw it. Same thing with late models, right? It's just that natural progression, unfortunately, in the sport where you can't afford to run super late models weekly anymore. So then the modifieds basically took place of where the super late models were. And it's like slowly but surely they get kind of pushed out because the cost of everything and the purse and what they pay. But evidently there's still a good bit of modifieds out there that want to race. And I think that is obviously pretty important for the health overall in the state of Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, and beyond. Man, there's a lot of really good race car drivers that are willing to travel and that want to race. And so Kel Westover earned $7,500 on Saturday night for winning the ARMS championship. Put this in perspective. Kel Westover raced 11 races. 11 races. That's it. Like, that's not very many. 11 total races on the year and got $7,500 on top of whatever the winnings that he won throughout the season. Didn't have a dominant year, like had himself in position, won the championship by around 78 points. But Kel Westover got a $7,500 check from the ARM Series on Saturday night at Texas Motor Speedway for just following this tour and being consistent. Dude, I mean, that's not a bad 11 races of work, would you say?
That ain't bad at all. That ain't bad at all. In quick math, you do 7,500 divided by 10. My boy got $750 a race, essentially. I know it's a little bit less than that, but I mean, that's essentially what it breaks down to. I know they ran 11 races, but still, I mean, it's really cool, man. I love the ARMS modified series. I'm glad they got that going. I think it is something really, really cool for regional guys that can go out there and go chase it. And I'm super pumped up that a dude like Kel Westover, who's a guy that's been in mods, limited mods. I mean, I feel like the dude will race anything that anybody wants him to drive, and for him to go out there and get that check, dude, $7,500. I know he's happy about it. Heck, I'd be happy about it. Like you said, it's 10 races worth of work, and it's probably 10 races that he was going to be at anyway. And the arms races, most of them pay 2,000 to win, 200 something to start. Like it ain't no chump change. It's not like it's no 1,000 to win, 100 to start. I mean, it's double that, so it's a pretty good little series, man. They got something good going on with that arm series. I was really happy when they started a couple years back, and to see the guys that get to follow it, because, you get the Hennigans that pop in when they roll into their area, and you get the Joe Duvals and the Reese Solander. You just get random guys that happen to have an off weekend, and there's no telling who will show up to that arms race. And really cool deal, man. Glad Kel Westover picked up that little bit of side money there for winning the points championship.
Yeah, so let's get into Texas Motor Speedway dirt track. I just kind of want to ask you, like, I mean, you're not prepared for this, but what would you say would be the number one storyline coming out of Texas Motor Speedway? Is it the national touring guys came in and dominated? Or what is the storyline, do you think, coming out of Texas Motor Speedway? And can we please, for the love of God, get away from everybody calling somebody a cherry? I saw more comments this week calling Cade Dillard and Aaron Reitzel cherry pickers because they went to Texas. By the way, let's put this into account. Aaron Reitzel is from the state of Texas. And if anybody saw what Charlotte Motor Speedway dirt track looked like last week after their little World Championship Finals event, why the hell would, like, first of all, Aaron Reitzel has raced all year long in the high limit sprint car series. And maybe to get a head up on the competition when they come there in March, or when they go back there to solve their championship next October, maybe he's got a little bit of notes on the competition. Maybe it's just smart for Aaron Reitzel to go run at Texas Motor Speedway rather than all of you idiots getting on here and calling him a cherry picker for going over to Texas and dominating and racing the competition that showed up to race him. Like, I am so sick and tired of it. I'm off my soapbox, sorry. But really, can we just stop calling people cherry pickers? Dude, we're fortunate that these kind of racers want to roll through the pits at one of the most prestigious dirt tracks in the country, and we're calling them cherry pickers. Can we stop? Like, it's got to stop. Is Cade Dillard a cherry picker because he won three? When he won 3 races and finished second of the other one? Is he a cherry picker because 67 of the other modifieds that checked in ain't worth a shit? That is wild to me. Bro, listen, Reese Solander won on Saturday night. Cade Dillard got second. Chris Hennigan was third. Tyler Wolf, Sean Gaddis, Kel Westover, Gary Christian, 2-time USRA national champion Tyler Davis. But he's cherry picking. I've had it up to here. Cherry picking my ass. I'm so over it, bro. Give these guys their respect and credit for going out there and doing their jobs and doing it well. Can you hear me now?
Well, I hear you. Calm down. Look,
I'm not really.
No, I got you. I got you. No, you know what cherry picking is if Aaron Reitzel shows up to Rocket Raceway Park to race the Race Seaver 305 sprint car feature this weekend. That's what cherry picking is. Aaron Reitzel showed up and he's listed the modified names. Let's just go through some of these sprint car names. Austin McCarl, Brennan Crouch, Ian Madsen, like just hey, ladies and gentlemen, look, they showed up. And here's another thing. Those same people, probably, I don't know. I didn't see all that. I swear I stay off of Facebook more than I try to get on it. But I swear those same people would be the ones that if that no big name showed up, they'd be like, oh, TMS was just a dump. Like there wasn't nobody good show up. It wasn't worth paying the $45 for a pit pass. There wasn't no big names there. So like, bro, it ain't cherry picking. Like they had competition. They had the dudes there to go race. And like you said, like they can't control who shows up and who doesn't. Like, I mean, Aaron Reitzel, if you think he's cherry picking, the dude literally raced with a broken foot on the high limit series for like 6 races. Like, yeah, that dude's a cherry picker. Look, you know what, Zach? Instead of getting, I got an idea for you. Instead of you getting you so worked up, just realize the ignorance of those people. And if you want to know the Merriam-Webster dictionary definition of ignorance, it is lack of knowledge. And I'm not saying those people are ignorant, but they have a lack of knowledge in this certain whatever opinion they wanted to make. And their opinion's their opinion. If they think they're cherry picking, so be it. Aaron Reitzel and Cade Dillard don't think it's cherry picking when they're cashing the checks on Monday morning. I can promise you that. Like it is what it is.
All the other drivers that are there, for all the drivers
it is
go into the racing program, it's a slap in the face to all those other guys not named Aaron Reitzel or Cade Dillard. That's what bothers me the most about it, because you're basically saying all these other drivers are second tier racers comparative to these guys, and that's not the case. Right? All these guys started somewhere and got to the point where they're at in their career to be able to be talked about in the manner in which that they are now. right? Like you've got to start somewhere. Aaron Reutzel's one of the best sprint car drivers in the country. And by the way, that race paid $7,000 to the winner on Saturday night. That's not chump change.
Yeah.
And by the way, I was also shocked at this. Ayrton Jeniton won $50,000 for his Power Eye 410 Sprint Car League Championship. $50,000 for winning the Power Eye National Championship. That's pretty awesome. Like really, really
Yeah.
good. And it kind of shocked me. I didn't realize that their payout was that good. That's a really, really good sprint car tour that they got going on there. That Power Eye Honest Abe Roofing Sprint Car League. It's a really, really good ran series. And man, it's been going on here since 2022, and they're continuing to build. No, it's not the World of Outlaws or High Limit, but it doesn't need to be. That's what I want everybody to understand. Like quality racing can happen when it doesn't have that banner on it. Like, and not everything has
Yeah.
to be sanctioned in order to have a successful race or an event either. It's all about what you think. Like, I think so much people get so worried up about like in the perception of things. Like, really, what do you think about it? Like, if it's quality to you, then what the hell does it matter to everybody else? Like, if you put on a quality race and you enjoy it, who gives a shit what the sanction this or that or the third is? None of that stuff, it really, really matters in the grand scheme of things. What do you got? You're thinking about something.
Well, I was just gonna say, and in this day and time, I think we use the term cherry picking a whole lot more often. And there is situations where, like, you could tell some people did avoid competition, not in this scenario, but we're blessed and fortunate with all the streaming companies that we watch all these big name dudes that go all across the country, right? So then we fall under this banner that if it's not that, then it's not top tier, high level racing. Like that's the
Yeah.
perception everybody has. Where at the end of the day, I remember being a kid and I didn't know that it was Lucas Oil or World of Outlaws, but me and my dad would go to the World Dirt Track Championship at TMS, and 10-year-old Cortland thought it was the coolest thing ever. I was mad because they wouldn't let nobody under the age of 16 in the pit area that one year for one rule. So I had to sit in the grandstands, and my dad would just bum me off to people, and I just had to sit beside somebody there for a little. I mean, it was all family friends. He didn't just throw me to some stranger. Let's just don't get too
Yeah.
bad of a perception there. But I'll never forget my dad, brother Fowkes. We all go up there and like they would take turns going to the pits and seeing their buddies because they had to sit there with me in the grandstands. But like 10-year-old Cortland didn't know that. We're racing at Texas Motor Speedway, dude. Like we're right there off the interstate, like just the whole event and everything about it. So what if it paid only $1,000 to win? Like those dudes showed up and supported an event, and like it's one of those deals. I was going to talk about it. I'm going to hit it now. Why can't we do this every year and have our own version of the World Finals, and then have two different options for dudes to go? We got the World Finals going on in Charlotte with the sprint cars, late models, and the big block modifieds. How come we can't have our own World Finals down here, essentially? Because if to me, like in my own perception, there was the Southern World Finals. That's what I texted Bags. I was like, "You're headed to the Southern World Finals this weekend, LOL." And we're racing mod sprint cars and late models and a really good quality product. Like, I don't know how if you want to get mad about it, then you're just trying to find something to be mad about, I guess. That's people's opinion, their opinion. They have a right to it. So be it. I don't agree with it. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, dude, we're racing at Texas Motor Speedway. Really good payouts, really good crowd, really
Yes.
good car turnout. Like what? We're just gonna find something to be mad about or find something negative to say? Go on ahead. It doesn't matter. But I love the point you made, and I had it. But you're the one that said it, so I'll give you credit. Anybody that says it's cherry picking is a slap in the face to all the other competitors that roll in there. Between all the sprint cars, what was it, 37, 40 of them, between the
They had
50 something
43.
late models that were there and the 65 mods. Like, it's just, so you're telling me none of them other dudes can go out there and win a race? Like, bro, hey, another one, go hop in the pond because you're a silly goose, my friend. Like, that's just all there is to it.
So with talking all about that and talking these great racers up with which they're deserving of. So Cade Dillard comes away with 3 wins and a second this weekend. And the only driver that he finished second to was one Reese Solander.
Yes,
And
sir.
as we talk about, it's a slap in the face of some of those other drivers. I want to put this in your ear real quick. Reese Solander's last 2 wins, okay? Arms Series win. October the 11th won his first career Arms win. Huge race, by the way. Paid good money at Route 66 Motor Speedway. This is your top 8 that night, okay? Just put this perspective in. And also, I just told you what the top 10 was, what he beat the other night with Cade Dillard on his heels. So the race he won October the 11th, Rodney Sanders finished second. Tyler Davis was third. Jason Hughes finished fourth. Stormy Scott was fifth. That young up-and-coming Hunter Sandy finished sixth. Trevor Hughes and Jake Gallardo. So we're to this point now where it's time to show the 5-car Reese Solander some love. This young man has been nothing less than impressive here in his last 10 or so starts. He's been a ton of fun to watch, and you can really see come Saturday night that USMTS prowess that he's had all year running up and down the roads with all those guys. have done nothing but make him a better race car driver, Cortland. You could see it, like it was tangible on Saturday night because a caution flag came out with 7 laps to go, and you thought, oh shit, like this is the opportunity right here for him to either pull away from the 97 because Dillard's gonna put some pressure on him. But man, dude, he checked out during that first long green flag run. Reese Solander absolutely got up on the wheel and earned that win on Saturday night. Cade Dillard just came home second. Cade searched the racetrack, tried all over to try to find a different lane. And I think by that point, too, the track wasn't quite as racy as it had been, like throughout the B mains and maybe earlier on in the heats. And like you could see, Cade was really searching. But I think the storyline to come away, obviously, Cade Dillard won 3 races on the weekend, needs to be commended for that. It was a dominant run for the 97 this weekend in both classes. But man, Reese Solander earned some respect, I think, from a lot of people, man. He's going to be around for a long time. He had that skyrocket humming into the Fort Worth night there on Saturday, man. Reese Solander's a hell of a good race car driver.
And not to think about it like this, in 2023 he was a B mod dude. In 2024 started racing mods. 2025 took the mod rank by the just took modified racing by the horns essentially, and has raced his butt off, and has really, like you said, turned a corner. You see the progression, and he's a dude that's like, he's these up and coming names. You know, we talk about US and TS, and they don't necessarily have the star power that we used to think they have, but Reese Solander is a name that is one that you better buckle up, people, and keep your eye on him. I mean, he who knows? He might be the next Ricky Thornton Jr. He might be the next Rodney Sanders, but the dude's going somewhere with this modified program, man. He's a really, really well racer. You can see the progression he's made, and dude, he goes out there and beats the best modified in the country. Like, I mean, what do you want? What do you want to say? Was Reese Solander cherry picking this weekend? Because if the other two were cherry picking, Reese Solander must have been cherry picking too. I guess, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, but no,
Yes.
dude, Reese Solander, heck of a job this weekend, man. Just like you said, turn the corner. Really looking forward to seeing how his progression goes, because he's one of those that I think is going to be the star power name in modifieds here in the next couple of years. Like, just one of those dudes that rolls in, and you'll be knowing that you'll be racing for second or third. You know, like he's going to be in the top 3 every night. He's really has turned the corner and been a dude lately.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I want to give a special shout out to Chris Hennigan too, man. Debuted his brand new IRP race car there this weekend, and man, he was really strong on Saturday night. Won his heat race and finished third there to Dillard. Really good run there for Chris Hennigan. Tyler Wolf finished fourth. Sean Gaddis rounded out the top 5 again. Kel Westover won the championship. He advanced from 12th to 6th on Saturday. Gary Christian advanced 4 spots to finish in 7th, and Tyler Davis advanced 10 spots from 16th to finish. I'm sorry, 18th to 8th. He advanced 10 spots. Sorry, my man. There's that Louisiana education rearing its ugly head again. Anyway, dude, I want to ask you this as a fan who was sitting at home watching this event. I don't know what your agenda was like on Friday and Saturday. I think probably Saturday night your time was a little bit more freed up where you're able to watch this event. I'm not sure. I think you had football game maybe you had football Thursday this past week or
Yeah.
Friday. But anyway, I was curious of what you thought seeing at the house because man, I got a number amount of messages this weekend from people like, why are we qualifying all 3 classes? To be honest with you, man, I kind of understood people's perspective on it and where they were coming from, if there was any frustration maybe because of the amount of the time that it took. Dude, it took 2.5 hours to qualify every class that was there. But I do want to say that if this race comes back next year with the same 3 series, or maybe there's another late model tour in there, I believe ARMS is going to come back. But if we have the same amount of car count, I understand, folks, we cannot be qualifying for 2.5 hours. Hot laps and qualifying took 2.5 hours to complete. And man, that's just too long of cars going around single file. Maybe, whether it's 2 cars, 3 or 4 at a time max, the fans are getting irritable. I mean, we're sitting around for 2.5 hours after. I mean, if you've got new dirt track fans that are coming out here for the very first time, despite us up there announcing of what's going on, sure, they understand that that's qualifying, but it's like, man, we really come here to watch cars race side by side, right? Like, at the end of the day, I get it. That's the format. So I'm not bitching about the format. I'm just saying when you have that amount of race cars and 3 series that have a qualifying format, maybe it would behoove you. And me and Eric Chesterman talked about this, and this is something that he and Talon Turner and the guys with Power Hour are already talking about for next year, is finding a way to slender this format down. Maybe the modifieds we can go back, dude. Hey, I raise my hand right here, right now. I talked to Jason Ingles about it the other day. He said, dude, Zach, I am totally down to go back to passing point heat races. Well, that's what we did for the longest time with modified racing. I don't know why we're qualifying them now. Listen, I know I'm the voice of this series. I'm not supposed to be. I'm not hammering it. I'm thinking on behalf of a race fan. I'm thinking from the eyes of a race fan in this scenario. I am totally down the Knicks qualifying. I get, like, Cortland, I know that you probably get it too, like, because you've worked for a late model team. you get it on the behalf of the driver. You know that why they want to run qualifying. Because if you're a faster guy, obviously you can get out in front of the carnage. And if you're running passing points, man, it just opens up so many different variables and scenarios for you to tear your equipment up in a heat race. What's kind of your idea on that? I mean, do you think we should shorten that thing up, maybe go back to passing points for the mods? I mean, because dude, qualifying for 2.5 hours again combined with that's just too long, man. In my opinion, it's just too long.
Yeah, so 100% that it did take a while. And as a race fan, you sitting there and I'm watching, I got 4 different screens going on. I stole TVs to get my little room here, and I got all my races going on, right? So like I'm watching everything, and it is kind of frustrating whenever you want to watch TMS and it's 2 o'clock in the morning and we're still running features. Like there's features and stuff that have been finished at other races before we even got done qualifying. So yes, that's something we need to work on. Is it something you can hound on? Dude, it was the first time that they've ever had this type
Right.
of event, right? Where they wanted to qualify. Hey, I saw the video today. Think about the Dome. The first time they ran the Dome, the race at the Dome, that Thursday, Friday night, there was like 10 hours, 10, 12 hours. Like it was a complete kerfuffle. All right. So yes, can you be happy about what happened, or can you be a little frustrated? Yes. Give the guys a chance to work on it, because we could easily roll in next year. And I'm not saying they got to do this, just throwing ideas out there. Like look at Charlotte, look what they do. They do the hot lap and the qualifying the night before. So maybe that we can incorporate something like that, where next year you go do a practice. Sprint cars get the track for 30 minutes, mods get the track for 30 minutes, late models get the track for 30 minutes, and then you go qualify for your 2 nights. That's something that could easily be done, and we can address this and go on. But for the first weekend, like it's part of racing, right? I've been stuck in the 72 hours of Magnolia at the Magnolia State 100, and you're sitting there all day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and it's 1 o'clock in the morning and we're rolling. Like it's part of racing. Does it need to happen every weekend? No, but at a deal like this, dude, cut them some slack, man. Like I'm not saying they didn't expect this many people to show up, but I don't think they expected that many cars to show up, in all honesty. Like, let's just be real. Can we fix the format? Yeah, I do. I have a certain appreciation about qualifying, and I've turned this corner in about the last 5 years.
Qualifying.
Dude, to watch a guy go out there and to see who's going to muster up that courage to go up there and run around there, especially at a place like TMS, when you can run around there wide open, and who can get their car to turn. Like, I really do have an appreciation for qualifying, because to me, that's the hardest 2 laps that you will see ran all night long, just because of track state. Most time it's more hooked up and everything like that. Like, I do have a really big appreciation, and I thoroughly enjoy watching qualifying. We just got to figure out a way to not make it 2.5 hours with hot laps and qualifying. However they got to do that, I'm sure there's a way. I don't think it helps with TMS. I love the tunnel and I love the one entrance. There's no openings. But that kind of slows down process as well, and just getting everybody cleared out. I don't necessarily know, but could things have been sped up? Yes. I promise you, Power Eye, Arms, the Revival Late Model Series, if they're all coming back next year, I'm sure they will stick their heads together and put it together and try to work better. But at the end of the day, it was their first time running this with the sprint cars, mods, and late models all having to qualify. And it's something that they know they need to work on. Obviously, I think, like you said before, it was something that was bitching of trying to make this faster and do it better. So just give them a chance to make it better. Hey, fool me once, hey, good job. We're okay. We're good. Make it better the second time. If we do it again next year, I'm going to come on here and complain about it. But for now, hey, let's try to solve something else. Whether we got to do, like you said, passing points for modifieds, I think the sprint car dudes, they're going to qualify. Power Eye, I mean, that's a legit deal. You got to qualify them. Late model dudes, they're accustomed to qualifying. You don't qualify, a lot of dudes get frustrated, or a lot of the guys may not show up. So it's one of those deals that you just got to kind of take all of your surveys in, and you're not going to make everybody happy, but they can figure something out to change it. And it could be as easy as, like I said, practice and qualify Thursday night for the weekend, or practice Thursday, and then when you start Friday, we're straight qualifying, bud. Like, no, giddy up on the pony, let's ride. So there's a lot of different things that can happen. But really, if you're going to ask me if I'm completely torn about it, no. I enjoyed getting to stay up to 1 o'clock watching my races. I ain't gonna lie. I kind of enjoy the old late night, the old nightcap. You know what I'm saying? And it can be all right. It'll be okay. I understand the frustration of the race fans. I wouldn't have to sit up there till 1 o'clock in the morning. So
it don't really bother me, honestly. It's first time in my announcing career I have left the racetrack. Literally, there's a Raising Cane's right across the street from TMS Dirt Track. First time in my announcing career I've left the racetrack, went and got something to eat, had time to eat, came back before the next race started. Like it was, it was. I worked that in. That was nice. It got me a Raising Cane's chicken dinner, and it was pretty ironic because it was right after the night after I watched Todd Graves' Forbes interview. Anyway, nobody cares, but Todd Graves is worth $22.6 billion. Dude started a chicken finger unit from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It was an LSU Tiger. I got nothing but love and respect for Todd Graves. I mean, the dude made it.
Yeah.
$22.6 billion is what this man is worth, and he just makes chicken fingers. It's one of the wildest things you could ever have imagine happen in your life. Like honestly, like you know what I mean? It's
Hey,
what a dream. What a dream.
the
What a
American
life.
dream. The
It
American
really
dream,
is, man.
bud. Hey,
It really is. And Canes is
if
good.
you find some if you find something you love, he loved making chicken fingers, and you make it the best as good as anybody else, then by golly, you could be worth $25 billion one day. I just got to find something that I'm that great at making to go do something like that in life. But I don't think making chicken fingers is my thing. So we're here on the podcast. So hey, here we are. You know, I'm
Uh,
just a pit reporter. I don't
uh,
know if I'll be making no 25 billion no time soon.
You said the word kerfuffle a minute ago, and it reminded me of this message this gentleman sent me. Roger Phillips sent me a message, and I'm not going to read the whole thing because it'd be me tooting my own, and I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to go there. But he said, "Hey Zach, you don't know me. I just wanted to congratulate you on working quote kerfuffle into the Friday night broadcast. Seriously, like with the laughing emojis and the thumbs up. I've been a local dirt track fan longer than you've been alive. In parentheses, I'm old, and your hands down the anyway." So he said some very nice things, but he was congratulating me on working the kerfuffle into the broadcast and said he's been around way longer than I've been alive. First announcer, he said work the word kerfuffle in. I don't think I say that word very often, but anyway, I enjoy those kind of messages that people send me. You know, that makes you feel like you're doing something okay, right? Anyway, but TMS was a blast this weekend, man. I really enjoyed. I met Alan Staley. He's the voice of the sprint cars there. Old Bob was the voice of the Revival late models,
Bob,
and listen,
Bob,
a lot of people were being hard
Bob.
on my boy Bob this weekend. Bob's a super guy. Um, man, listen, Bob loves racing. Bob's been around the game for a minute. And here's the thing that I would encourage anybody. Stop comparing people. That's the number one thing. I get it. Like there's a standard a lot of people expect whenever you're watching a race, maybe at Texas Motor Speedway. And I'm certainly not comparing myself to anybody, but just stop comparing people. Simply put, like, don't compare me to any like I got a lot of this weekend. Ryan Mertz, or we call him Hoss. He's part owner of Start to Finish there. He was on the switches for the broadcast. So anybody was watching the broadcast this weekend, everything you saw on the screen, he was the guy on the switches behind there, controlling what you see from the cameras. He turns and looks at me and he says, "Anybody ever told you sound like Theo Vaughn?" I said, "I get it at least once a week. Like every race I announce late, I get it. And I'm not trying to sound like him. I guess me and Theo really just do sound alike. I got it more this weekend because my audience was different this weekend. We were on 3 different streaming platforms. So, dude, I got no less than 30 messages this weekend, and people just come at me like, "Dude, you sound just like Theo Vaughn." Or I got messages from people saying, "Is this Theo Vaughn?" And like, it's like, well, you know what? And I don't take it as a derogatory thing. I take it as like because it could be way worse. Like I could sound like OJ Simpson or something. Like I could sound, you know what I mean? Like I could sound like anybody. Yeah, I could have said something else. Sorry. I could sound like anybody else in the world, but I sound like at least to one of the seemingly nicest guys, funniest guys in the world. Why did I say coach? Sorry. I'm stupid. Nobody's ever going to claim me of not being that. But anyway, um, yeah, I got a lot of Theo Vaughn comparison. But anyway, the main point of me getting to this, and I got sidetracked like always, ADD's getting the best of me right here, right now, is stop comparing people. Stop it. Just stop doing it. Like, man, Ruben Morales got raked over the coals this past weekend at the World Finals on third. And I'm not saying that he didn't deserve it, but like, I think that a lot of it is a little over the top, guys. Like, let's just calm down a little bit. Like, does it really mean that much to you that he botched the call, a job that he takes seriously? Like, it's not your job. That's his job. Why do y'all care more than he does about how he operates his job? Like, we got a little sidetrack. Should we talk about Ruben? Maybe we shouldn't. But I mean, dude, people were raking his ass over the coals this weekend. He made a blunder, folks. We are not robots. We make mistakes, right? Like, dude, we are not perfect. Just like when you go to your job and you may make a mistake here or there. I get it. Like Ruben made a pretty big blunder. He missed Hudson O'Neal making a final lap pass. Said Brandon Shepard won the race, and Shepard didn't win the race. Hudson stole it. But dude, I have never seen an individual get raked over the coals harder than Ruben Morales did for that little blunder he made on Thursday night of the World Finals, dude. Just everybody relax. Just
Let
relax. It's not that
let's just be
serious.
no, no, no. Let's just be real here. Uh, yes, he made a mistake. There's no hiding that, right? Like
Yeah.
he missed the pass for the lead coming out of 4. Like made a mistake. But if you're anybody watching that race and you watch the same camera angle I did when they come down the backstretch and Brandon Sheppard is in the lead by 5, 6 car lengths and Hudson O'Neal's there, yes, he had charged his way up. But anybody in their right mind at that moment, Brandon Sheppard's going to win that race unless something catastrophic happens. Yes. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, Zach. Shepherd's leading by
I would
6 car
really
lengths
truthfully, I
going down the
need to go back
backstretch.
and watch it again because I really I need and it's hard to put yourself in that perspective as an announcer. I mean, I've called late model, but
Yes.
a lot of times I want to put this before you make your next play. A lot of us as announcers in the booth, like on a primetime big event, like such as one as the World Finals, you have a monitor in front of your face. So what you see on the camera, what everybody else seeing at home is what you're seeing as well, unless you're looking over and looking at the racetrack, which is very smart to do both. Like you need to play the monitors and play the racetrack. But go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, going down the backstretch, it's one of them deals that I'll look at it. Yes, again, I'll restate, like, yes, he made a mistake. I promise you, Ruben will tell you he made a mistake, and it probably kept that dude up at night the last 3 nights because he loves his job that much. You want to talk about a dude that has passion for racing, whether you love him, hate him, biggest fan, number one hater, that dude has a passion for racing and announcing like no other.
Yes, he
And
does.
that dude and has worked his way up. That the same dude was working IMCA Red River Mod Tour. That was the first
Yep.
time I ever met him. Like the dude has started announcing when he was like 13, 14, like loves racing, went up and down the road, did the summer nationals, like as he has earned his way to this spot essentially, right? He makes a mistake, so be it. But from my angle, from the watching the monitor, the broadcast, like Shepard's going down the backstretch, and like really on the broadcast, you can't tell he got passed until they go down the front straightaway view and you see a black car dart underneath Shepard. And you're like, oh crap, I think Shepard just got passed by Hudson. Like it's kind of hard to tell unless I was watching something, unless my memory's fading me here. But he probably that's a guy that takes his job serious. He thinks Brandon Sheppard's going to win it, and then he's trying to highlight, just like we talked about, highlight our points champion of Cody Tupper. Like he's trying to highlight the fact that we have that Bobby Pierce solidified the World of Outlaw Late Model Championship. He made a mistake. People make mistake every day. I made a mistake putting my shoes on this morning, probably. Like nobody's ever going to be perfect. There's only been one perfect man in the world, and that's all there is to it. Like it's you make mistakes. If you think you can do better, you probably can't. I'm just going to put it like that. Like it's
And then
just it's one of them
I,
deals. It's sad that people just love to point out the negativity. Like it's
everybody's
crazy.
waiting
It's
on their gotcha
absolutely
moment.
crazy. And it's just the time and age we live in. That's all.
It's
It's
sad.
it's what's come accustomed. Like it's
But you
part
know,
of life. I've just accepted it now. Like everybody likes to do that, and that's fine. But like
yeah,
let's put everything somebody says about racing under a microscope and just see what they talk about. Like and
yeah.
like from the moment you start your day to you end your day, let's have a microphone on you and let's just see like if you don't make a mistake or say something silly. Like let's see what
Yeah.
happens. I've had plenty of phone calls or listened to plenty of phone calls of racers talking, and I'm telling you right now, these dudes ain't got a clue in the world. I ain't got a clue in the world neither. But you hear some of these dudes talking, and you're like, bro, you are completely backwards on whatever you're talking about. But I'm not going to tell them because I don't know everything neither. So it's just one of them deals we learn and live together. Let's just be happy about it, man. Enjoy the fact that we get to watch racing. Like we ain't got to be negative. We ain't got to try to get everybody. Like it's the time and age we live in. It's just
So
part of life now.
So it's crazy because like everybody's like, oh, they edited like they posted the finish and they're like everybody's in the comments talking about they edited it and to make Ruben sound better. And it's like, well, why wouldn't they? Like, why do y'all have a
Yeah.
problem whether they made him look better or not? Like, that's their job. By the way, all of these race recaps are edited video. Like, I cannot believe how hard they have raked him over the coals. If you don't like the guy, that's fine. You got a point, but I wanted to make another point off yours, so please don't lose it because I was going to lose this
No,
one a
no,
second
you're
ago.
good.
So,
You're good.
so everybody, I saw several comments, like people are comparing, like the flow announcers would never make this mistake. speaking of Ben or Dustin Jarrett, like y'all really think that these guys are just perfect and they're not prone to mistakes either? Like I make mistakes too. Like, and I'm not comparing to put myself on a pedestal with anybody. If anybody asks me if I can announce with Dustin Jarrett and Ben Shelton, I'll say hell yeah I can because I'm confident and I think that I can and I think that they can do the job that they can. Do I? I mean, I feel like I paid my dues. I've been doing this for 18 years, but this isn't about me. It's never about me. And so the point of that, let's stop comparing people. Stop comparing. So I'm going to bring this point up real fast. So 5 or 6 years ago, it's the dirt late model dream. It's the dirt late model dream, and it's the photo finish with Brandon Shepard and Dale McDowell, and off the turn number 4, Dustin Jarrett. And I'm not, and make this very clear, I'm not saying this to throw me and Dustin are buddies. I love Dustin. I talk to him. I'll send him a message. He'll more than likely reply. Don't talk to him often, but if I did, he'd answer. Dustin Jarrett, they come off a 4, and he says, and Brian, okay, sorry, maybe I just know he made this bad mistake one night. Nobody said nothing. He said, Brandon Shepard wins the World 100, and it was the dirt late model dream. And he had to come back and correct himself and said, the dirt late model dream. He was caught in the moment, in the middle of the moment, and made a mistake and said the wrong event name. Same racetrack, race pace similar to the amount of money, just made one mistake. And guess what? The video that came out, you would have never known that it happened because when it came off of 4, it says, Brandon Shepard wins that early model dream. And it's like, nobody ever heard him make the mistake because Flow Racing fixed it for him. That's exactly what they did for Ruben the other night. They cut out a little bit of the laps there, the time where he came back and corrected himself to make him look better because that's what they're supposed to do. Why would they make their announcer look worse than he is? God, you people. Anyway, sorry. What's your other point? I just want to say that everybody makes mistakes. Even the great Dustin Jarrett makes mistakes.
My point's a little lighthearted here, and I'm probably gonna start giggling before I can get it out. But we're talking about editing, and people are mad about their editing. Hey, you wasn't mad at your old lady when she goosed you when she edited her photos and got you to go on a date with her. That's all I got to say. I ain't calling nobody out on that, but we don't get mad at our old ladies for editing Facebook profile pictures to make themselves look good. That's all I got to say. I mean, it's a little lighthearted how I'm going to end that conversation, but it was something I thought of. Like, hey, you wasn't mad at your old lady for editing a photo and making herself look good and make you feel good about yourself, big fella, but you mad about that. Or if she goosed you and got you on the first date because she edited something, was you mad about it? No, you probably still with her, big dog. So go ahead and be mad about Ruben, I guess.
Dude.
I don't know. That's my life. That's what I was thinking. I started cackling in my head. I hope I delivered that in the right way and it got through. But I mean,
this might be our best pod yet.
You mad about them editing a video, but you wasn't mad about your old lady editing her profile picture to get on a date with you, I guess. I mean, that's all I'm going to say. Hey, be mad. Hey, you're going to be mad at one thing, be mad at the other. But last time I checked, you probably still with that same old lady, cuz that's all I got to say.
Hey, should we call Craig Persley Jr. like I did last week on the solo episode and ask him why he got beat by Dalton Faulkner this past weekend at the Texas Grand? Should we do it? I don't know. So we're gonna move on to the 30th annual Texas. He told me to call him anytime. He said he loved that last week. He said he'd like to be a call in on the part of the show next time. So Craig's he's a hoot nanny. I tell you what. But he came on second to Faulkner. I figured it was time to move on before I just really dug into something there and I think
I wrapped it up pretty good. I think I wrapped it up pretty good.
You did. You did great.
I think I wrapped it up pretty good. Don't be mad about editing when your old lady's editing photos of herself, bud. That's all I got to say. Yeah. Don't be mad about it.
The Justin Timberlake, the Saturday Night Live episode skit, or that's the D in the box. I'm talking about the Wrap It Up box. This was actually Dave Chappelle, the Wrap It Up box. He pulls it out and time to wrap it up. But anyway, Dalton Faulkner won at 105 this past weekend of the factory stocks. No surprises there after he finished on the back bumper of Craig Persley Jr. the week prior at the Halloween Havoc. He comes back and with a vengeance, and the 27 car goes back to victory lane there on Saturday night. KMO Kenneth Montgomery won the hobby stocks there. Dude, 30 years that the Renegade Texas Grand has been around. 30 years, man. That's pretty awesome, dude. This thing has stood the test of time. It's moved around to different racetracks throughout the years. Rob Slott won the street stocks. Ray Allen Colhonic, one of the best versatile drivers from around the South Texas region, won your limited modifieds. Trent Dixon, up-and-coming driver. Of course, remember he swept the SuperTech 600 in the Enduro. That young man evidently can just wheel the shit out of a race car. Doesn't matter what kind of car it is. If it's got 4 tires and a steering wheel, evidently the son of Brad, old Trent, can get the job done, and he did just that this weekend of the IMC or Race Saver 305 sprint cars. And then, of course, IMC and Mod Light winner was Scott Jordan. Man, my buddy also another deal here, and I don't even know if he listens to this podcast, but Caleb McFarland, man, been announcing for over 10 years down there in that area. I haven't even had a chance to watch the whole video just yet, but I saw that he was going to be stepping away from announcing. Of course, he got married this past year. Um, he's got a new daughter, Luciana. I think they may pronounce it a little different. So, Luciana, anyway, beautiful baby girl, man. I'm just really happy for him. He's been the announcer at 105, and man, he's gonna step away. He posted a video, so man, it was kind of a swan song for him. People have asked me how long I may do this, and coming up, this will be my 19th season, and I don't think I'm gonna stop anytime soon unless everybody just gets rid of me. But I just wanted to send a shout out and much respect and love to Caleb McFarland, man. I see him each year, at the race on end of the year shindig we have, and he's just a really, really good dude, man. And he's a good announcer as well. And man, he's really represented that area. He's represented 105 Speedway with utmost respect and class. And a lot of times that racetrack got raked over the coals here or there. People say it's just a backwoods. Like Caleb McFarland was there making that thing better than it. He was making it the best that it could possibly be. So nothing but respect for him as he steps away from full-time announcing. And man, congratulations to all the winners that I mentioned there, man. 105's got something special going on, man. Their stands are packed about every damn week.
Yeah, I didn't see that video that you're talking about Caleb there, but kind of one of them deals. I'm sad that he's going because that was a voice that I recognize with 105. I think you kind of said it kind of similar to this. He's leaving 105 Speedway better than he found it, and that's
Yes,
really cool, man. And not a lot of
100%.
people can say that. Or I say a lot of people in racing can say that, but not everybody. And he's one of those dudes that he's leaving 105 Speedway better than he found it. And really, man, I really I'm sure he's got other things going on in life, baby girl, married, all that stuff. Life takes over at some point, and sad that he's stepping away. But you're right, man. 105 Speedway, it's one of those that's always there. You can say what you want about it, dog. 105 Speedway is going to be there. The Texas Grand's always going to be there, man. That was always a pretty big race and something that you always kind of look forward to in that area. And it's funny we mentioned the Texas Grand. I get bored during the day, especially in the afternoon, and whether I'm working on school stuff, getting prepared for the next day, or grading papers. Like I'll just throw up random podcasts and listen to it. And so it was actually a podcast with Tyler Erb, and he's sitting there talking about it, and they were talking about the difference of racing everywhere else in the country versus back home. And he was like, well, man, back home, like we don't really have late models. Our biggest race of the year is the Texas Grand, and we race a bunch of factory stocks around the house for $2,000, and we think that's the biggest thing in the world, And it's kind of funny
Oh
that the
yeah,
Texas. I just happen to listen. It's an
yeah,
older podcast, and I'll
that's
just
awesome,
randomly.
dude.
I mean, even if I listened to it. I was probably 2 or 3 years old, but I'll just go back and listen to random ones. And it was funny that he mentioned that. But man, it's something that's been around for 30 years. It's got a history. It's something that those guys around there want to race and they want to win the Texas Grand. And that's something they put in their cap. I know Craig Pursley, he said it whenever we had him on before, like he wants to win the Texas Grant. Like that's something that's in his backyard. It's a name. And when guys win that and in the pit area, they feel like they've done something. It has that prestige to it. All those guys down there in that Southeast Texas area, they race it, and they respect it. And they have a relatively really good turnout every year. It's a really good show. Sometimes it can get down there around the bottom. It's just part of it. That's dirt track racing. And when you got a lot of cars, a lot of laps on the weekend, it happens. But still, man, those guys, you gave them all the credit. You mentioned the winners, but you win the Texas Grand, to them that's like winning the World 100. And shout out to all those guys for getting it done.
Hell yeah, man, it's awesome. Congratulations to 105 for a hell of a great season too, man. Looking forward to what they got going on down there next year. Man, I know you saw the picture. Oh, wait, what do we want to talk about first here? You want to talk about this new black dirt on Ark-La-Tex and talk about that, or you want to talk about XR and Barry Braun and the Slammer? I mean, I don't know.
Let's talk about Ark-La-Tex first. We can
Yeah,
wrap it
man.
up with
Hey,
the Slammer. Let's talk about Ark-La-Tex first.
Ark-La-Tex
Let's
has
get to
got
it.
some new black dirt. I don't know the consistency of it. I hadn't had to go over there and run it in my fingers to see if it rolls good together. But I think Brim Bud knows what he's doing. My boy Remington Bud is, man. Hey, he's got Ark-La-Tex on the mind, son, and he wants to put he's been listening to everybody. He's been hearing the drivers talk about how it's eating up tires, and the racing hasn't been as quality maybe as it has been in the past. Well, Remington Bud, man, he is dedicated this offseason to making this racetrack as premier as it can possibly be, dude. That is nothing like we've ever seen on Ark-La-Tex Speedway before. Look at this. That is some
Yeah, I got
black
it pulled
dirt,
up
ladies and
as
gentlemen.
well.
Yeah, that black on. I mean, that ain't blue on black, ladies and gentlemen, by Kenny Wayne Shepherd. That's black on red, and that's not a song. But I tell you what, the cars will be singing a nice tune around that joint, I'm sure, come next March. What do you think about that black dirt? That came out of Bossier City, by the way.
Yeah, I seen that. So I would like to know the plan of it all. And that's just me being nosy. You know, we see that get put on there. Is that going to be the base and bring in something else, or is he going to leave the red dirt underneath there and he's going to lay that out on
Right.
top? Like, how is it all going to get in there? I am by no means no land engineer or dirt work guy by no means, but I just you want to see what you going to do with it. You're just going to lay it out on top of the dirt and go with it. Like, what I'm sure he's got bigger. There's more plans in this. That's just a very small tidbit that he's going on with it. But really excited, man. He listened to the people. The surface there just hadn't been great, and we've talked about it on here before. Ark-La-Tex used to be. I mean, Ark-La-Tex was here, and everybody else was here, and it was or here. Let me get my hands together here so you can see the gap. All right, that's how it used to be. Like Ark-La-Tex was the dude, the place you wanted to race at, right? Like, I mean, it's even one of those places that you can throw up Ark-La-Tex Speedway anywhere in the country and people know about it, right? And just the last couple of years, it's kind of just lost that luster. And I'm not necessarily knocked down, just Boot Hill and Texarkana. Everybody else has worked their way up. And the drivers are complaining about the surface. That's been the number one thing, right? You see it eating up tires. It rubbers up. You can watch it. Like, just the racing hadn't really been that great there. So the fact that he's trying to work, and it's not like this is going to be no last minute, do it in February right before racing season and in the wet time of the year. Like, this is a time of year where he can get it in there. He's obviously on his mind now before we're really in the off season, so he's going to get to work on it. And it's one of those deals, man. He can go in there and he can do anything he wants. He's got essentially 3-4 months here to go in there and really massage that surface and make it something good. That black dirt is something that we really don't see around here at all. And it's funny because even though it's black dirt, all dirt's different, right? Like, it's good. You got to go feel it. You got to see what's going to happen when you get wheel spin on it. What happens when you get the water truck on it? So, but really, really happy to see the improvements, man. Hey, he heard the complaints, he listened, and this dude ain't waiting around for him to hear it again in 2026. He's on it right now. So I really hope it's something that turns out. That black dirt, man, there's something about it. If it's that good stuff, boy, when she's hooked up, she is hooked up. And when she gets slick, she can get slicker than snot on a doorknob. You hear me? It's one of them things that could really turn that place around and make it really, really interesting. And so all arrows are pointing up for Ark-La-Tex Speedway, man. At least throw a curveball to everybody. They all might hate it. All the guys that are red dirt lovers, they may absolutely hate it come March and April, but somebody will get it figured out and say it's the greatest thing that ever happened, and somebody's going to say it's the worst thing that ever happened. But oh well, it is what it is. But I'm really looking forward to Ark-La-Tex next year and seeing what they do, man. They got plenty of time to work on it, make that place good. And like I said, I really love the fact that he's getting on this in November and not something that he's waiting till
Yeah.
February to try to happen. Like, he's got all this time to work on it and really make it. And they can even throw some test sessions. I know some
Yeah.
racers going to be itching to get on the track in December,
Yeah.
January. He can have an open test night and get some guys out there, see how it works, and then work on it, man. That's what it takes. Drivers, we talk about guys that work on their programs all week long to be the best they can be. And it's very obvious that racetracks, the guys that work on their racetracks all weekend long and week long, like, those are the ones that are always seem to be just top tier. So really excited about it, man. I really think the effort's there, and excited to see what happens.
Yeah, man, me too. I feel the same exact way. I reiterate those same sentiments that you have, man. Real excited. Ark-La-Tex, we need Ark-La-Tex to be open and thriving, to go hand in hand with what Boot Hill's got going on with what Rollo and Bubba are doing over there. And I believe that we'll have good cooperative scheduling again coming up this year. And I'm interested to see how Texarkana slots in, man, because I'm going to be 100% honest. And I don't know if this is the time or place to say this, but I think that all the other area promoters know this. I know that Tim Crawley has not been, he doesn't like the fact that he has to race on Friday nights, but he also understands that's the climate and where he's kind of stuck into all this when he came into this operation. He's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. He would love to go to Saturday nights if he could, and I don't know if that's going to be the case in the future. But there's just a lot of things. There's only so many tracks around that are operating, and we like to try to not to get them all racing on top of each other at one time. So can't wait to see what all happens in the off season between all of our three, or more than three, but the local regional Ark-La-Tex area tracks to us. So should be a lot to look forward to and things to get excited about. Man, I really don't even want to talk about this, to be honest with you. This is truly, it's been a black eye on our sport for a while. I mean, if anybody is looking at this from the outside looking in, um, everybody has seen it today that Barry Braun, his mugshot's been shared around, and The description of his charges, though, has not been released. So nobody really knows exactly. I guess everybody is just assuming that he got arrested for fraud. Of course, if you're not aware of what we're talking about, we're talking to Barry Braun, the owner of XR Events, and of course, on the XR broadcast company and all that, was hosting those big super late model races, paying out insane purses, the 100,000 to win races that you've seen over the last couple of years. Of course, Kay Dillard won one of them. He did get paid. It took him a little bit to get it, but eventually got it. And so that's kind of been the conversation amongst a lot of racers throughout the community, is that Barry takes a while to pay guys, or people don't get paid. We saw Peyton Taylor come out and make a Facebook video, to kind of, share about what had been going on, behind the scenes, just to make people aware so it doesn't happen to them. And then, of course, right after Peyton made that video, he ended up getting paid. That was for the 100,000 race that he and Ricky Thornton Jr. and that team won together at Farley, Iowa last year. Man, it's just been a shitstorm. It's just been a lot. Like, on top of, and like, I am not coming on here to hound on anybody, because we just were talking 30 minutes ago about how people make mistakes. Now, this is a little bit differently than just making one mistake. Like, this has just been a compound. This has been compacted and compounding throughout time, over and over and over again. And after a while, like, that's just kind of what your behavior is. I'm going to tell you people something real quick that I've held this in, and some people that know me personally know this story. Cortland, you're aware of it. And I don't say this to hound on anybody, but this is my experience with this gentleman. I was on this day 10 years ago. I'm standing in the pits in Las Vegas at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway dirt track, going to announce at the time the biggest race of my announcing career. Granted, I announced the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series with James Essex the year prior at Ark-La-Tex, but as far as me traveling out of my area and out of my comfort zone, I was going to announce at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway dirt track for one of the most prestigious IMCA modified events in the country, and the Duel in the Desert at the time. Dude, we had 350 modifieds there. It was truly, dude, it was everything that I dreamed about at the time. Like, man, I felt like, man, I made it. Like, I felt like I'd made it. Barry made me a lot of promises, man. He had XN at the time. Back then, it's funny, it was still XR, but he had changed his name several different times. But anyway, man, there was a lot of empty promises. Obviously, he did not keep. But man, he talked about what a great job I did throughout that whole week, man. And I'm telling you, Cortland, I left there, felt like I did such a great job, man. I couldn't have been any more confident, man. I really, really thought that it was the time for me to go somewhere in motorsports. Like, man, this is going to help get my name out there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there was a time whenever I had those kind of goals and aspirations, right? Like, this is 10 years ago. My mindset and the way I approach things is a little bit differently now, after this. So anyway, I go and do this event and was feeling confident. Barry's, he's starting off the year at East Bay Raceway Park and saying that, he's got the rights to the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series for the broadcast for the East Bay. And I'm coming to announce them. Dude, that was my dream, to announce the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series at East Bay Raceway Park. Are you kidding me? Like,
Yeah.
And dude, I announced that whole week, and what we agreed to over the phone and what we verbally committed. Now, listen, this is a lot on Zach Clark too. I need to take responsibility and realize that I needed to go about my business a little bit better. And if I had been more buttoned up, I wouldn't have gotten shit on the way that I did, I don't think. But I got on that airplane, the same exact money that I came with, and what we did not agree to. It took me 4 months to get paid for my work that I did in Vegas. And had I not been so adamant on it and made sure I stayed on his ass, I would have not gotten paid. 4 months later, dude. Like, dude, you want to talk about ripping me apart, dude? I'm not kidding you when I tell you this, man. I'm putting myself back in my mindset from 10 years ago. Dude, this affected my mental health. And honestly, dude, and this is 100% a fact. This ruined my love for motorsports at the time, because, man, I'm not weird thinking back on, dude, because I don't even get emotional. Like, dude, I felt like somebody took something that I love the most and made it a mockery. Like, dude, I went to Las Vegas and I meant business. And when I left there and I got on that airplane and I left there with the same exact money that I came there with, and I didn't get paid for, after working my ass off and somebody telling me every single day that week that, man, you're one of the best announcers I ever heard. Man, you did fucking awesome. You're going to be with, excuse my language, you're going to be here. You're going to be with us for, the long haul. And man, I didn't even do one more race for him because the dude couldn't even pay. He couldn't pony up the dough. I get a little bit emotional about it, but dude, this motorsport stuff has been my life. This is what I do. And for somebody that doesn't take it as seriously as I do or anybody else that and runs an operation in a professional manner, dude, and after saving and or saying all this and telling you this, I've forgiven this man. I forgave him. Like, sure, bygones are bygones. He paid me 4 months later. And dude, I didn't talk to Barry for shit, Cortland, like 7 years. Like, I tried to reach out I could not hear from him. The only way I got paid was when that check surprisingly showed up in my mailbox in Greenwood, Louisiana at the time. I thought that I got screwed because I did get screwed. And that's how a lot of these racers and everybody else has been feeling in this industry for the last couple of years now. And I tie this into what happened to me because it's crazy. If it can happen to me, just any old, just regular announcer, it can happen to Zach Clark, and it can happen to anybody else in this industry. And unfortunately, that's exactly what has happened. A lot of people have gotten screwed by this individual by believing and trusting the program and the product that he was putting out. He sells you a bill of goods. Everything looks great on the outside, but at the end of the day, when it comes down to ponying up the dough, he ain't doing it. And it's sad because I don't like getting on here and harping on anybody. I hope that Barry Braun has a come to Jesus, because that's what he's going to have before he spends, I don't know, years. And I don't know like what kind of fraud charges, because I've heard a lot of things that he still owes Bristol Motor Speedway all kinds of money. I have heard the wildest of accusations about what this gentleman owes people, and it is crazy. It is truly insane to me. And at this point, I'm just kind of rambling on. I wanted to tell y'all about my experience. A lot of people kind of know that, Cortland. And you know what? And I've been real careful about telling it, because I have never been about talking shit about another individual for self-gain. For me, I'm not that way. I don't just go around talking negatively about people. So over these last, let's just say 4 or 5 years ago, when these XR Super Series events are all popping up and this and that, my good buddy Scott Bargloff, who used to work for RaceON Texas, was working with Barry. And I'm still great friends with Scott Bargloff. And I'm watching all this, and I'm watching all these things and these big races unfold, and I am jealous as shit of Nick Robbins. Nick Robbins is one of my very best friends in motorsports, and I'm watching him travel all up and down the country and announce all these different races at all these various racetracks. And I'm thinking to myself, like, that's supposed to be me. And nothing against Nick Robbins. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, man, that could have been me. Like, because that's my goal. Like, I've always wanted to travel and work in this sport, despite me not ever coming out and saying that to anybody and what's in my heart. But I watched it happen. I warned Nick. I said, Nick, please be careful. I said, dude, if he's treating you well, then that's all that matters to me. I told Nick time and time again, man, if he's taking care of you, then I don't care. Whatever happened to me does not matter. At the end of the day, I just don't want it to happen to you. Had the same conversation with Scott Bargloff. As far as I was concerned, he was taking care of him. Well, at the end of Pittsburgh last year, Scott Bargloff walked away from XR events because he couldn't deal with Barry's shit anymore. And I know it. And he may not like me saying it like that, but that's exactly how it is. He went and moved his ass back to Corpus Christi and went back and got a regular job because he was so tired of dealing with Barry Braun's shit. Just saying. And if Nick Robbins didn't turn around and get screwed by Barry Braun after I told him that it was going to happen, but again, you can only go through these situations and all these life experiences for yourself and learn it on your own. And that's what unfortunately had to happen for me, and happened to happen to Nick Robbins, had to happen to Scott, happened to happen to this guy, had to happen to this guy and this guy. And what we've all come to the conclusion of is that, you know what? Maybe this guy's just not a good person. Maybe Barry Braun, you know what? And I hate saying this because he's got young kids, he's got a wife, and I'm not saying anything about them. Man, I think he just got in a little too deep and shit got over his head, and he's been trying to find a way to get out of it. I think at his core, I think Barry probably means well, but he just got in a little bit too over his head, folks. And this is just how the cookies crumbled. I am not going to sit here and say that this guy's just a bad person. I think anybody can change. Lord willing, I think that this guy can change. But man, what he's done to motorsports over the last couple of years, and it's taken time for this to rear its ugly head, it has not been good for our sport, man. It really hasn't. It's put a black eye on it. Man, I'm telling you, man, this that experience screwed with my mental health for the longest of time. And I couldn't feel comfortable coming out to talk to anybody about it because nobody really understood where I was coming from, because they don't really understand this industry or the things that go about it. I talked to my mom about it and she does her best to understand, but I mean, I'm rambling, man. At this point, I've talked longer about this than I anticipated. I hope I articulated my words well. At the end of the day, I am not here to throw him under the bus. Everybody else has already done that, and I'm not a vindictive person. I haven't been standing on the sidelines thinking to myself, "Just wait, he'll get his, he'll get it." I'm not that guy. I've never been that guy. I don't wish harm on anybody. I just hope that he's learned from all the bad things that he's done in this motorsports industry, and somehow finds a way to make it right if it's even a possibility at this point. That's all I got.
I absolutely hate the fact that racers are owed money because a lot of people put a lot of trust in that deal. And if that's the case, I don't have any facts on this deal. Like I don't, I never, I was a part of a team. We went and raced. Did it take us 2 to 3 months to get paid? Yes. Did we get paid? Yes. So I can't speak on no bad experience of myself. I've heard plenty of stories like yours. I've heard plenty of stories from other racers and everything else. So you take all that in. I absolutely hate the fact that racers are owed money because racers put a
Yes.
lot of trust in a lot of people. You think about all these dirt track guys, excuse me, all these guys that travel all across the country and show up to all these races. And we put our faith in the promoters to, at the end of the night, have us the money to pay. And this goes back to one of them deals why guys run series, right? Because these series roll in and say the track promoter don't pony up, the series at least know the series is going to take care of you, right? So it's one of those deals like, mate, that's not saying that there's been a lot of bad promoters, but obviously stuff has happened before that you just can't have a lot of open big money races because nobody's going to trust the guy. Right. And I'm not saying that, I'm not using Barry
Right.
Braun as an example. That's just an open-ended, that's just an open-ended story. Like, I don't know what to tell you, but I absolutely hate the fact that racers are owed money because racers put a lot of trust in a lot of people when they roll into events, travel all the way across the country or right next door, like whatever it may be. You have all the faith in the world that you show up and you compete, that you're going to get paid. I absolutely hate the fact that racers are owed money. I also hate all the negativity that's going on. We talked about it. I mean, look, look. I trust the justice system. Hey,
Yeah.
what's going to happen is going to happen. It's just part. It's life. All right. Fool me once, fool me twice. Shame on me. The warning signs were all there, and I understand racers still putting out. Going to show up to these events because they are big money paying events. And if you're a guy that races for a living and you got a chance to go win $100,000, you're going to go drive your happy butt over there and race it. And I absolutely hate the fact that that's how it all played out. The one thing I will say, and it's, you hit it enough. The only thing I'm going to say is that if you look back and you look at Barry Braun, the only good thing out of this, and it's nothing that necessarily Barry did, he changed dirt late model racing as got to catch my words there. He specifically, that's the word I was looking for. He
He helped
specifically
boost purses.
changed the payout. Yes, he changed the payout of dirt late model racing. Now, guys didn't get paid on other races or whatnot. I don't know of many dirt late model guys that didn't get paid. I know modified stock cars, whatever, they maybe had trouble getting paid. But when you look at it, it's going to be funny when we look back in 20, 15 years. And it's not funny for anybody that's owed money. But we're going to talk about this guy, and you'll look at it and you'll go, but without him, we don't have all these 100,000 to win races. It made all these guys pony up because for a year, XR Super Series was digging. There was 100,000 to win races, and on a Tuesday night, heck, it made JD drop off a national tour and gave him his $2 million year. I know the Eldora Million had a lot to do with that, but he also won a lot of XR Super Series races that paid a lot of money. So it's one of them deals, not that any of this is good by no means. I want to make that very clear. Not owing nobody money, not screwing anybody out of money. None of that is good. Everything he's done, hey, if that's what he's in, that's what he's been arrested for, the judicial system will take care of itself. I believe it. Everything, it'll all work out. If you got screwed out of money, man, I absolutely hate it. But when we look back this in the history of dirt late model racing or dirt racing itself, he did once single-handedly change the payouts of racing and made it to where dirt late model races paid pretty darn good now. And a guy like John the Davenport was able to win $2 million in a year. Now, it didn't help out all the dirt late model teams. Like, there's still guys, the guys that beat up and down the road. There's only your 10 or 15 guys that are really making big bucks out there and not even making it. Like, the expense to run a dirt late model team is crazy. But the one thing you look at is like, Barry did open the eyes up to everybody and made a lot of people pony up on the points fund and the big time races and everything, and really opened up the dirt late model paychecks.
I hear a lot of people say that though, man, but is that really true? Like, if Michael Rigsby were sitting on this podcast right now, do you think that he would agree with that, or you think that he would detest that? You know what I mean?
I
Like,
don't know. I don't have
like
necessarily the facts or the
because I hear a
stats
lot of people
to
say
back
that.
up. but I mean, we can, that's something maybe we can have happen. We can go back and look at what all these races, I mean, just go back. We'll just have to go back and look at what all these races paid, I mean, and see what it actually happened. I feel like whether it was just, it all happened at the same time. And when you look at it, you think, well, in my head, I think that like, well, it's because Barry Braun was putting all these races. That's why
It's
everybody anteed up. But
it's
maybe it was
it's
just the
not
time
all
and
bad.
place. No, but it's not
Everything
all good neither by no
like
means.
Bristol Motor Speedway, for instance, like he gave regular Joes, weekly racers an opportunity to race at one of the greatest racetracks in America, Bristol Motor Speedway, and all the logistics and all the extracurriculars and things that went on with that. I've heard a shit ton of stories on that too. But I know that the first Bristol Dirt Nationals was a hit. And I mean, as
Yeah.
far as I'm concerned, like it was a hit, like, and it was pretty successful. Now I've heard a lot of other, stuff, lawsuits with Bristol, these NASCAR affiliated racetracks with him. And then he had a deal with Dale Earnhardt Jr. in North Wilkesboro. And oh man, it's just one thing after another, like it's just kind of hard to wrap your head around. Like, so it's not all bad, but at the but it all seems that it ends up the same result. That's the saddest part about
Yeah.
all this, and I think the part, like, that pisses me off the most, and it's the same thing that you agreed with me about, is all the racers that he still owes the money to right now. I think that's the part that kinda pisses me off. Like, he'd pay the big name drivers at the time, like, he'd pay your Bobby Pierces and Devin Morans and some of these guys, the late model guys, but he ain't paying the little guys because they probably don't have enough of a following to make enough of a stink about it to, I mean, because if you don't pay Bobby Pierce, buddy, you're gonna know about it in 24 hours. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
the Pierce posse is gonna come after you, and he knows he's got to pay the 32. I don't know. It's just all a shitty deal, man. It's all shitty, honestly, and I hate even talking about it on this podcast. We talked about it a little bit too long, and or I did. I went into it a little too deep, but that is a true story that happened with me, and it's not woes me, man. It's long gone in the past, but it's crazy because my Facebook memories, I pull up, I see these memories pop up. I don't know where I put my phone, but these memories pop up every year for me, and I just realized it's been 10 years ago, that I was in Vegas this weekend, and other than not getting paid, it took 4 months to get paid on that deal. Other than that, like, it was what a phenomenal experience. Like, I'll never forget getting to announce it at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway dirt track. I've announced at all the NASCAR affiliated dirt tracks except for one, and that's Charlotte. So, or for whatever that's worth. But anyway, man, I think that's about all we got tonight on Clark After Dark. This thing, I think this might be one of our best ones yet, to be honest with you. That's just me.
We'll see what the people say. We'll see what the people
Yeah,
say.
that's
But
what it is.
before, I mean, it's look. But before we get out of here, there is the old Redneck Derby at DeSoto Motorsports Park.
Yes.
RaceON is broadcasting it. Guys, I'm looking at the rule book here, and it is simply just put a 4-cylinder that's 2-wheel drive, roll bars, and safety cages are recommended but not required. You got 4-cylinder cars that are going to be racing around an ATV track. I don't know what all this entails. Saturday, it's a 20-lap feature. Like, they're going to qualify, run heat races. Like, it's a whole to do. Go check it out. The Redneck Derby at DeSoto Motorsports Park. It's going to be a show. Like, it's going to be something that you're going to want to watch, I feel like. I don't know what all it entails. I'm sitting here looking at the flyer. Hey, the main event pays $700 to win, and there's a claim rule for the car. There's a car claim rule of $3,000. That way, nobody goes in there and spends more than $3,000 on a car. It's $700 to win. You're racing 4-cylinder cars around an ATV track. What could go wrong? Absolutely nothing. It sounds like a well of a time will be
It
had.
does.
Like it's just one of those deals. Like, I have no idea how to promote this or advertise it, other than the fact, like, it's going to be a spectacle, and it's on the RaceON platform. So go check it out this weekend. I know you talked about Rocket. They got a race coming up. And this weekend, national tour wise, the Flow Racing Night in America, they do their final season rally finish up at Sonoya
Peach State
Raceway Park, a
Classic.
place. Yeah, Peach State Classic, man. A really cool place. We went there a couple years ago with old Team 14. Actually sat on the pole of the old Peach State Classic, my man, with my
Come
boy
on.
Mo Bags. Fast time in
Was
our
that
group, won the heat race. But
was that the year they tarped the racetrack?
yep, we was
Was
headed
it
over
really?
there, and and drove through like half a hurricane, like almost pulled over and
Yeah.
stopped, and then kept on driving through, and then got there, and they had tarps on it. It was a whole kerfuffle on Friday. Don't ask about how Friday went. Friday wasn't too great, but Saturday, the old Peach State Classic, man, that's really cool racetrack, man. Like a gray dirt, like it goes from hammered
Yeah.
up to just slick, slick, slick. It's a really cool place. All the big dogs are going to be there. It's kind of everybody, that's their last little trips here. They go from the World Finals down there to Sonoya. So go check that out this weekend for any of our late model guys that got anything going on. I don't know if there's anything national wise. Sprint car, I think everything's done. High Limits finished. World of Outlaws is done, obviously. So I don't know about sprint cars, but this weekend you got your Redneck Derby at DeSoto Motorsports Park. You got the
I
20
know.
lap race, then an enduro the next day, and then you got the Flow Racing Night in America, Peach State Classic at Sonoya, and then everybody, or one of the biggest spectacles in dirt late model racing, my friend. The Dome is on the horizon. We're a couple weeks out. I see a lot of the hype videos and promo videos rolling out, so that's something we'll talk about at a later date. But
Are
that's
you
just
going?
stuff to look forward to. No, I'm not going to the Dome, man.
Damn,
I've been 3
I'm
times,
thinking
and
about it.
I tell everybody, it is an absolute spectacle. It is a really cool event. If you've never been, go.
I'm
Gone 3
thinking about it.
times. I ain't too worried about going. I ain't too worried about going again. It's nothing
I got
against the event. I've gone 3. It's just one of them deals that I've been blessed and fortunate. Like the example, I've sat on the front row at the Sonoya Peach State Classic with my boy Bags. I've been at Husitz and all that stuff. And not that that stuff don't get me fired up. I mean, I come on here and I get fired up about Drake Finley throwing sliders at 67 Speedway. I still love racing. I just hate the fact that I'm very much one that has FOMO as well, Zach. I have a fear of missing out. And if I'm at a racetrack, if I'm not working in any shape or fashion, like I pay my money, I spend X amount of dollars to go up there. I'm gonna watch all these races. Well, then I got to
Yeah.
sit in these grandstands in these bleachers. And if people don't know, Cortland Smith's a big old fella. This old 6'3", about 300 on a hoof, don't fit in them old stadium seats too well for 9 hours. Like I'm just
Really
gonna go
fell
ahead
off
and
hook.
tell you, like that ain't
And
that ain't my go-to. So
I feel
by
you.
all means, it's a really cool event, but I really enjoy a lot of times some either friends, myself, whatever it may be. We just have a Dome watch party and hang out. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. If you've never
Oh,
been
I'm
to the
coming.
Dome, go get after it. You're going? Oh, you
I'm
coming to
coming
the
to your
watch
watch
party?
party. I'm coming to your
Come
watch
on, hey,
party.
I'll throw some steaks
We'll
on the
probably be
grill.
watching
We'll
it
have a
together anyway.
yeah,
Uh,
probably.
all right. Well, yeah, man. I'm looking forward to the Gateway Dirt Nationals. Obviously, whether you're there or watching it, it's always a fun event to watch too. The broadcast is always certainly worth the price of it,
Yes.
or watching every lap. It's a ton of fun, man. Ben and Dustin and Jay Van do a great job there. Jay Van will be on the call for the mods once again this year, I'm pretty sure. So, man, that's all I got for tonight, bud. I don't know if you got anything else. A kind of a longer pod this week, but I knew it would be. You left me high and dry last week, but I'm glad. I'm glad. Just kidding. I'm glad you're doing better though. I'm feeling better. That's all that matters, man. And I reckon we'll see you here next Wednesday night. Be blessed and be a blessing, man. Thank you for everything, Cortland. Great job tonight.
Thank you, friend. Holla, people.